Right now, the name Pippen is trending on Twitter, and let me show you why. Because following this game last night, our Richard Jefferson, who will be live with us in an hour, tweeted, Giannis might be a Pippen. There, I said it. He needs his Jordan. It should be pointed out, Scottie Pippen is one of the greatest players that ever lived and has 6 championship rings. So it isn't an insult, but we all understand what it means, that maybe Giannis isn't ready to be the #1 guy on a championship team. Again, the word Pippen is trending right now. David Fizdale, do you agree with Richard Jefferson?
I see where he's coming from with it, but I do think that Giannis is too young to make that determination. I think has Giannis had his own Pippen on that team to see if he could carry that team past where they've been. I don't know if Chris Middleton has consistently lived up to that reputation. So I think it's yet to be seen.
What do you think, Legs?
I think unless Giannis Antetokounmpo at some point, whether that's in Milwaukee or somewhere down the road, he becomes a free agent and changes teams, unless he plays next to a guy that is an all-league caliber player that can score from anywhere on the floor, he's going to have a very difficult time breaking through and winning a championship, because I just don't see him ever getting to the point where he's a legitimate threat off the dribble from anywhere on the court. And that's what it takes. Look at the guys that lead teams to championships. Look at the alpha dogs on some of these teams. They all have a guy that can go escape with a dribble, take you out to the three-point line, get to the rim off the dribble, even shoot a mid-range. Giannis, for the most part, has to beat you one way physically. And unless he has a guy next to him that can do what I'm talking about, that can go get a shot when the defense calls for it and dictates that you have to end it a certain way, I agree. I think it's a great point on the part of Richard Jefferson, and I do think Giannis is going to need to play next to that guy to eventually break through and win a title.
So here's the way I see it, guys. Legs, you tell me what you think of this. I don't think that Giannis needs someone else on his team who is a greater player than he is,
right.
But he needs someone who does the things that he can't. It's not really a criticism of Giannis to say that he isn't LeBron and he isn't one. He can't have the ball in his hands all the time because that's just not his game. So to me, it's not about Giannis not being able to be the best player on a championship team. But the limitations in his game are what we're talking about. He needs someone to facilitate, and maybe he doesn't have that guy. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. And I think your point is this. He doesn't have a guy next to him. Like Chris Middleton is a big-time scorer, and he's scored a lot of points in his league. Chris Middleton is not crafty enough with his handle where he can get anywhere on the floor in a certain situation and get a shot for himself. That's really what we're talking about here. So even if it's not a guy that's a superstar next to him, can you win with Giannis as your best player? Yeah, but you have to address that, and that's what I'm talking about. He doesn't have that guy on his roster right now. He's going to have to play with somebody like that eventually.
Very quickly, Coach Fizz, what do you think? Is he going to need something different than what he's got to win a championship?
Absolutely. I think he's going to need more playmaking, just like Legs was talking about. I think this series is going to come down to playmaking. You look at the guard play right now, Nunn, Dragic, Hero, Butler, even Bam Adebayo makes plays out there. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are very limited in that area, and they're going to have to improve there if they want to win a title. All
right, as I mentioned, we will have Richard Jefferson in about 45 minutes. He'll come on here, and we'll talk about this. Again, the name Pippen is trending right now, and it should be pointed out that to compare someone to Scottie Pippen is about as high a praise as you possibly can. Scottie Pippen is one of the greatest players that ever lived. But the point is what the point is. Giannis right now, this is with no disrespect to Chris Middleton or anybody else, he's doing it without another true superstar on his team. We'll see if he's capable of doing it. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.